Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Good evening, guys, and welcome to another edition of HowZat, Guyana's weekly cricket TV talk show. Of course, I'm here at the beautiful Altitude Lounge with my trusted co-hosts, Sean Divers, Michelangelo Jacobus, Timothy Jaikaran, and Brandon Farlett. We have a guest coming in for our fan segment. So much to expect on this episode of HowZat. Of course, we had a lot of cricket happening this week.
Yeah.
We had the IPL. This is supposed to actually be a championship edition. Where's the champagne, guys? It's supposed to be toasting, you know? The Guyana Harpy Eagles, 8 titles in 10 years. Phenomenal stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, that wrapped up on Saturday. We had a bit of controversy, which we'll discuss later in the show.
Yeah.
And then we had a lot of local cricket, especially at the under 19 and under 21 levels.
Yeah.
So, guys, what more is in store for our fans?
You
this
said
show?
a little bit of controversy, but it is painted as though it was.
It's a lot.
It's like a criminal activity, but it is wrong.
Jail time?
I mean, it is wrong, but it definitely could have been handled better, especially the release.
Yeah.
You know, the information, how it was released to the public. So
I think Sean begs to differ. Sean is
No,
holding
no,
his own.
I condone not doing that.
yes.
I don't condone doing that. But it is what it is. It's been dealt with. Hopefully it's already over because the fines are instituted, the match referee was consulted,
Let's move on.
and let's move on.
I agree.
Guys, of course, if you want to know what we're talking about right now, you gotta stay tuned. We have so much more coming up on the other side of the break. This is HowZat.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Welcome back to HowZat, and of course, we're in beautiful Guyana. And before we head to the controversial segment, we have to give you guys the updates. I'm so excited to talk about the Guyana Harpy Eagles and what went on. But let's get some updates. Sean, what do you have for us?
Well, first of all, there's the updates on the West Indies women qualifiers. Last Monday, unfortunately, West Indies lost to Pakistan. After losing their first match to Scotland, they rebounded with a win, but now they're in a big predicament. This depending on run rate. So in my mind, it's looking like they're out of the World Cup.
That's the reality. It's nothing new when it comes to West Indies cricket and playing qualifiers. There's a lot of heartbreak surrounding those.
Yeah, because the teams, the West Indies women's team give me more optimism of winning than the men's team. And that's no discredit to the men.
Okay.
But they have to depend on Hayley Matthews,
Right.
Deandra Dottin, and Stephanie Taylor.
Way too much.
You know, of course, Haley Matthews almost every match she does
Yeah.
with bat
And she's doing her part.
Yeah, you can't expect her to shine every game as well. Cricket is a team sport, and the entire team has to pull
And the
their
thing
weight.
is, there are 5 Guyanese on that team. And Campbell, who's been there for a long time now,
A lifetime, yes.
lose her as you can call her a veteran,
Yes.
and she needs to do more,
Exactly.
especially with the bat.
Yeah. Well, we can't discredit her fitness because
Yeah, she's very
she
fit.
kept going because all these years she's still there. Wicket keeping,
Yeah.
it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
We had the Demerara zone of the Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports, GCB under 21 Club nationwide competition, right? If
Yeah.
I got it all. Wow, one of the Brett Center.
You missed 50 over and not
50.
out.
Wow. See, I want to black out when they say everything.
It's too
But anyway, we had the Demerara zone rolling off over the weekend. And We had wins for Ogle, GCC, East Bank Eagles, DCC, who Transport A and Transport B as well. Of course, Sean, I know you're very disappointed with Martino's losing to
Such a
Ogle,
life.
right?
Yeah, by 190 runs.
So,
Wow.
Crazy.
Ogle made 316 for 7 in 48 overs. Mohinder Singh made 153. And then, in response, Martino's got bowled out for 126 in 44 overs.
Michelangelo, did Ogle at least have a home advantage, or
It was at Martino.
That match was played
That's-
at
Beaten
my
in your
home ground.
own backyard.
Yeah.
West
Oh, my
Indies.
goodness. Alright, so we had GCC heading over the river and they hopped across the pond. They hopped across, so we met in the resort where they trashed them. They made 334 for 7 and 50 overs. Of course, Thaddeus Lovell, who's more known for his bowling, he corrected them all over that ground. Remember, the ground is
Tiny.
very small.
It's a dot.
It's like a backyard.
Yeah.
But anyway, Thaddeus made 176. He hit
Wow.
17 sixes and 11 fours, and then they bowled out MMC for 127. So,
Ryan Prasad had 5 wickets
Yeah,
for
it was
22
just-
runs in that game,
yeah,
also
5
for GCC.
yeah,
That's
and
good. That's good.
George Charles and Krishna Singh, they took 2 wickets apiece. And then Josiah Lim, they lifted East Bank Eagles over Everest, right?
Wasn't he the guy that was playing for Martinos?
Josiah Lim?
Yeah,
I should think so.
yeah,
It's him. Same guy.
yeah.
All right, so he's with East Bank Eagles now. They posted 299, and of course Lim made 106, and then Everest were bowled out for 162. What's going on with these top clubs recently?
I think it's hard to maintain clubs now. The funding, if you don't get funding long ago, there were a lot of older people paying dues, and so the younger people didn't have to pay dues. When I was playing under 19 cricket, I never paid dues. So it's a harder now, the funding aspect
So
of it.
it's translating to poor on
Yeah.
pitch performances. All right, I understand. And then of course at DCC played on Saturday, and they had Fairfield, and that was another poor game. So they bowled out Fairfield for 7-1, and then just chased it down in 14 overs. Inderjit Nanan made 23 not out, and Kishan Silas had 18 not out as well. And then Transport, they went to Police Ground, Transport A that is, and they beat Police by 6 wickets. So Police were bowled out for 56. Atrocious.
What's going on with police?
I don't know. I just don't know. And then, Transport made light work of the chase. And the final fixture for that round was Transport B against DCB Select 11. This DCB Select 11, is it an initiative to nurture talents?
No, that's because of the issues that they had in Linden.
Mhm.
The upper Demerara team is now substituted by the DCB
DCB.
11.
Okay, I understand.
Giving players the opportunity.
All right, so DCB were bowled out for 116, and then Transport B chased it down. Of course, our boy Shamar Apple, he made an unbeaten 56. He
Yeah,
struck
continues to make runs.
5 fours and 2 sixes.
It's
So,
important to know too that this Transport B team appears to be an under 17
yes,
team.
Yes.
Because a lot of the
youth
players
Yeah.
just play the under 17
So-
competition.
I'll go out on a limb here and say that Transport probably has the best youth team.
Yeah.
in
And the
country.
best
Even
youth
the fact that they could
structure.
field
Yeah.
two
That's why
teams.
in the
And
last
won both games
in the
over
last
Exactly.
program I was asking where does the guy live, and if he lives anywhere close to Georgetown, even on the East Bank East Coast, Transport would be the best team for him to go
Right.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
In terms of youth cricket. So, yeah, that's.
And they had a game also in Bartica. Bartica combined with someone else, and they won their match.
Barbican, Essequibo. That was Essequibo zone, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So they combined with one of the islands,
Yeah.
and they won their game.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
So that's it for.
Let's
the
let's
21.
let's head over to some regional. The under 15 team, I think, departed last Sunday. It was.
Yeah, they
Yes.
had Sunday.
So they're in Antigua.
The first game was.
Yesterday.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they played Trinidad and Tobago. Then they played Jamaica tomorrow, and then on Saturday they play the Leeward Islands.
Did you guys know that my good friend Kyron Pollard's son is with the Trinidad and Tobago under 15 team?
Wow.
Yeah, I knew that.
All right.
He's a
Saw it,
talented
I saw it,
batsman.
yeah.
He scored a lot of big centuries locally. So I'm actually looking forward to him.
And on a lesser note, did you know that Avinash Ramzan, the sports journalist's son, is in the Guyana team?
Yes.
I
A
think
good
he's-
opening
he's-
left-handed batsman.
I think he's with his son.
Yes,
he's
yes.
traveling
Right?
as a team.
So I mean that's a good thing. Regional 4-day tournament. Guyana Harp Eagles, of course,
They
drew with Trinidad and Tobago.
But they got 4 innings points.
But they
and
got
that's
4
what gives
innings
them the
points
title.
and they emerge as champions again. Is it what, 3 times in 3 years?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
8 times in
Three
10,
straight,
10
8 and 10,
seasons.
yeah.
Wow,
Can
wow.
I say that I knew the match would have
I
been
mean, we all
drawn?
knew that. We had already
That's why I
planned
asked the question last week on the show when I said, and for those out there, if the game was to draw, what would be the calculations? I knew in my spirit that the game would have been
So
drawn.
who ended up getting second, Brandon?
I think Barbados,
Barbados got second because they won their match.
Right.
And once they won, they could have only finished second because Guyana had the 4 innings
Four
already.
innings
That's
points.
why the match was called off so
Right,
early
right.
in Trinidad.
So some highlights from the final round. I think Matthew Ford scored a century for Barbados.
That's
Jason
crazy.
Mohammed. Oh my goodness. He scored a century again. He finished the tournament with 679 runs. Sean, you're picking him for the West Indies team?
Nope.
no, not Jason Mohammed. And he's got 4 centuries in this tournament. That's a record.
Sean, you don't know what's running through Cricket West Indies.
Well, he asked me if I would pick him.
Yes.
No,
He
I
might
wouldn't
pick
pick
him.
him. No, I don't.
No,
mind
I don't
what
think
they
he
do.
would. I don't think
Hey, we talking about the same Cricket West Indies that brought back Fidel Edwards, Chris Gayle,
Dwayne
Ravi
Bravo.
Ramphal
Oh my
for
goodness.
a World Cup that was what, 2022?
Yes.
And we
That's
saw
the same West Indies we talking about.
who's retired now, Gabriel, playing in the
Chan
match
Gabriel.
against Guyana.
Yeah.
And he probably looked like he's bowling in what, 110
And maybe that
kilometers.
was because of the 2 players that went to play
Seals and
company.
Anderson
Yeah.
Phillip.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, we'll go into more details on the regional side of the 4-day tournament. But we have the IPL going on and the PSL going on and the GSL, I think it's coming up in July.
Yes.
10 to 18.
Right.
I believe, if I got that correct.
So, the IPL, guys, Nicholas Puran, I think, is still leading the
Yes,
run.
he's still
Yeah.
leading.
Remember, I
despite
had
his
made
bad
it public
form
to everyone.
recently.
Jemima, please remember, I will
Yes,
continue
yes,
to
Brandon.
refresh your memory show after
I
show.
didn't forget.
Okay.
I didn't
Puran
forget.
will score the most runs and more than Virat Kohli.
I
Yes.
And I've upgraded to not just the West Indian players.
Oh, you're taking my side now.
Yes,
Okay.
slightly. But I've upgraded to him scoring more than Kohli.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm glad.
This
I'm
is-
glad. Sean, you gotta sit next to
bullying.
me on the next show.
This is bullying.
You can move
By
us.
the way. This would be an example in a social studies
Oh
textbook
my
in
goodness.
grade 6 about bullying. I just want you.
All right.
So the PSL guys, I don't want to say they actually have
Just say it.
washed up international players, but you have people like James Vince, Johnson Charles. And,
I'll term it better for you, Brandon.
Yes.
I'll call it the second tier of international players.
Yes.
Because of course,
No.
the first tier is at the IPL.
IPL,
right
yeah.
now.
Let's say that it's a league
Best
for
of it.
players that are in the twilight of their careers. That's
No, but
something
Shai
different.
Hope is not in
No,
the
no,
squad.
with the exception of my boy,
We
with the
talk about
exception of
others.
my boy, of
Disclaimer,
course,
none of these titles refer to Shea.
Yes.
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
Godekesh Moti.
You're
who
right,
is there as
right,
well.
right.
Yeah.
We're not referring to those two players.
Yeah.
Everybody else, though,
Hold up.
Jason
Jason
Holder actually
Holder.
had man of the match in the fourth
Yeah.
game. 4 wickets.
And there's
4
someone
for
who's picking him to be the next West Indies captain.
Who picked it? Not me, not again.
A former player.
No, he actually
former
captained the
Guyanese
West
player,
Indies, but
or
I don't think he can go there again.
that's
I remember seeing
different.
it somewhere.
Yeah, me too, I
Former
saw
it.
West Indies player.
I don't think Jason Holder or
I don't think so neither.
he making the 11.
No, I don't.
Right
I,
now?
I don't think he's actually committed to 4-day cricket right now because he's actually globe-trotting franchise cricket. He's
Making
actually
money.
choosing the ILT20,
Yeah,
the Abu
making some
Dhabi
retirement
T10,
money,
the
yes.
PSL. So you got to make your money, as because he's a fast bowler as well, and there is a possibility that he may be injured, right?
Me.
So, guys, before we go to our next segment, I just want to give shout out to Edward B.B. Harry because we're living large these days.
Wow.
I mean, look at this thing. Look at the size of this thing.
Look how unique it looks as well in this glass.
I don't know what you're
Unique
drinking
is
here.
a special-
this one here, right?
And this is more fancy than the
good.
last one.
This is a hydration drink.
Yes. All right,
So-
guys. All right.
Good.
Let me just say thank you to Edward B.B. Harry for sponsoring us once again. And we're filming live from altitude We're on top of things, man. We're at the sky.
High
Sky
altitude.
top wire. So see you guys on the other side of the break.
Welcome to Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We offer fine dining, a sports bar, dancing, and special events. Come and enjoy a great Caribbean meal or sit and enjoy the games. Watch for our upcoming special events and live shows. Hibiscus, where you can have a wonderful time with family and friends. We are located at 8344 West Oakland Park Boulevard, Sunrise, Florida. Come out today and enjoy our wonderful atmosphere. Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We are your entertainment center in Sunrise, Florida.
Welcome back, guys, to HowZat Cricket Show, and we are at Sandy Bob Street, Altitude Sports Bar. We're on top of things, literally. This is an interesting segment. I can actually hear the drum rolls in the background because this is the segment we talk about the Guyana Harpy Eagles victory, but not only the victory, the issue in the game against Trinidad and Tobago Red Force, where two players were charged for ball tampering, and the other was fined for, I think, misconduct. Let's call it that.
Yeah, misconduct.
Right?
That's good.
Sean, as the veteran,
As the one who was there,
right? As the veteran who covered the regional 4-day tournament this year. Thank God I wasn't there this year. But Sean, what's your take on the entire situation?
Well, my first take with the Ghana performance, they performed excellently. They played team cricket. They gelled as a team. Everybody stepped up when was needed. And they had two batsmen scored 3 centuries. And Savory, even though he didn't have a century, missed it by just 1.
Yep.
Right.
So it was a good batting performance. A little bit disappointed with Nandu, who had just 1 century, batted too
150.
slow. 150, yeah, and he
Yes.
batted too slow. But all in all, it was a good performance. My standout was obviously
Anderson.
Kevin Anderson.
Yeah.
But I was also very shocked and amazed and surprised that he got himself involved in the change in the condition of the ball, himself and
Come on.
Kamal. Well, Ali Mohammed is a different kettle of fish.
yes.
He got fined for showing breaching the West Indies code.
Yeah.
Pelted the ball
Disorderly
back
conduct,
to the batsman or whatever he did.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised about that.
Yeah.
But I was very shocked that Anderson
Yeah.
got involved in that.
I mean, he's on the cusp of a West Indies call-up. And we know when it comes to Guyanese players,
yes.
they
Yeah.
have to be pitch perfect
Yeah.
to actually get, they have to score. If some other players, let's say from Trinidad, they would score 400 runs in the 4-day season, they can actually play for the West Indies. But Guyanese, they have to score 600, 700,
1,000?
Just let me write it
1,000,
down.
right? Peramal taking so much wickets until he actually returned. I think it was in Sri Lanka. He
Yeah.
took 5 wickets. So Guyanese players, I think, they have to do more. And what happened in this match here, Anderson being fined, I think it would always paint a bad picture, and it would remain fresh in the mind of the selectors. So it's
Yes,
very
sir.
selector. Oh my
Single,
goodness.
selected.
Yeah,
Yes,
but I
selector.
don't think it would be such a bad as the image it cost for Ghana, the trio being fined. Two for ball tampering and one for breaching the conduct. That Guyana didn't have to do that to win the title.
No.
They were well on their way. They could have won the title easily without doing that. So that is what I was surprised about, and there's no way I could condone something like that. It was wrong,
It was wrong.
and if something is wrong, it's wrong.
Yeah.
Alright.
But Anderson, I still think that he needs to carry on. When he gets the landmark, like he got 51 in this game, he has to
Yes.
go on. When he got 101, he has to go on. His only score above 150 is against, I think, some academy,
the
11.
West Indies.
Yeah.
West Indies Academy.
And he got
Yes.
153, but his other 4 centuries have been small centuries.
Yeah,
And
that's,
I would also like to see him play in the matches against South Africa A for West Indies A. He could also play in the one days. There are 3 one days and there are 2 test matches, both test matches in St. Lucia, where Darren Sammy could have a good look at him and see if he's ready. But I think he's ready already for the test match against Australia.
these 8 team games there in May to
Yeah,
June, right?
yeah.
Alright, so
Before
May
you guys
21
actually,
to June 11.
yeah, let me just ask the question, because I think Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board, they're actually calling for harsher penalties against the fine players, especially for the ball tampering. What's the take on that, Jemima? You think the guy should face strict penalties for this?
I mean, I know that a report was done, obviously, by the umpires, I'd assume. And, whatever happened, happened. And this is my contention with the whole thing. I want to agree with Sean that it was wrong, but I also think that Cricket West Indies' approach in publicizing this issue was also flawed. And the first thing is that everybody believes that Ronaldo Ali Mohammed was involved in the
also
ball
involved.
tampering.
And I saw a post today on some some Yorker wide or some nonsensical.
Why the Yorker?
Yeah, wide Yorker that had Imlak photo.
Yeah.
He had nothing to do with it.
Because Cricket West Indies just, wrapped in everybody in this controversy, but Ali Mohammed wasn't even fined for that. Now, apparently, allegedly, this happened on Friday, I believe.
On
Yeah.
the first day
So,
and on the third
Thursday,
day.
Wednesday, and Friday.
Yeah.
For
And then
context,
we
let
got-
me just give them the headline so they
Please,
can
yes.
understand.
Yeah.
So the headline from the West Indies press release, when they put out the statement on Saturday morning, it says Guyana Harpy Eagles trio fined for breaching Cricket West Indies code of conduct during final round of the West Indies Championship.
Good.
So they painted with a white brush, which is what Jemima is getting
Everybody's
at.
in. And then not only that, so we had this on the first day, which is Wednesday, and then Friday. And then this press release came out on Saturday morning. Correct me if I'm wrong, but usually when players are fined for
It
breaching,
comes after the game.
it's after the completion of the
Yeah,
game. It doesn't happen in the morning when a team batting trying to see how they could win the game, or when somebody's bowling trying to force a draw.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. Why did we get this release on Saturday morning when the game was still going? It was still a possibility that anybody could have won. We don't know what would have happened. That's the first thing with it. And then Kevlon Anderson didn't bowl an over in this game.
No.
Not one over. And I know it's possible because we know what happened with Sandpaper 8. But the ball changes hands so often. And obviously, if Kevlon Anderson had to tamper with this ball, it would have had to happen when the ball is exchanging hands before it gets back to the bowler. So why the other people, nobody else naming call it? I believe that some clarity needs to be had on this situation. I can't accept that, hey, these 2 people tamper with the ball and that's what happened.
And-
I can't accept
And
You know-
in wake of all of this, what is most disappointing is that the GCB is yet to come out and issue a statement, a proper statement.
And the GCB can't come out and issue a statement. Because
Yes.
the GCB, no, they can't. The GCB and CWI already have their issues that are external to the game.
Yes.
The moment the GCB comes out and says something about 2 Guyanese being fined for ball tampering, it's going to cause a big problem with the relations between GCB and CWI. because they're going to view it or it's going to be painted.
As insular.
Good. They're going to say that, hey, y'all got problems with our administration, that's fine, but you can't bring it to the game.
But can we say that and I would like to say it because I told somebody that at the end of the game, I said, when they said that Trinidad is calling for harsher punishment, I said the Trinidad and Tobago Cricket Board is just being salty right now. You didn't get second, you get third. But at the end of the day, look at it this way. I said before I make a judgment or pass a judgment, let me see in a country that I hold cricket to the highest standard, which is India, let me see if you're caught ball tampering domestically or regionally, what would be the punishment? And would you believe it or not, the punishment that Anderson and Permal received, it's technically in line with what they would give you in India. So it's normal. So for them to push for something more, I understand if it was their second offense. But for them to push for something like that, they're just being petty, salty because they
And the matter was dealt with already because they all three players pleaded guilty, and the match referee decided that was the punishment.
What would they
So
push for? Ban them for an entire year?
I mean, and then other people in different parts of the Caribbean, they're probably they are suggesting that the entire team be punished. But that didn't happen in 2018 in South Africa because it was Steve Smith, Cameron Bancroft, and David Warner. Those three players actually were banned. So I think the penalty or everything that happened, like you guys said, it's in line with the ICC.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you would have read the Cricket West Indies release, right? They cited that this is the punishment for this type of offense. So it's being dealt with at the highest possible.
And Ronaldo Ali Mohammed initially pleaded not guilty, then he reversed and pleaded guilty, and he has the least fine because his
I think it was
indiscretion was the least of the
Yeah.
seriousness of the indiscretion.
I mean, I remember seeing an article. Nicholas Puran was once fined for ball tampering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually saw that info article.
And Nicholas Puran has a wonderful career now.
Yes.
Nobody called to his head because, I mean, I couldn't sit down here and remember off my head, hey, Puran.
So these things happen.
Well, I still
But
think
it is the
Anderson
wrong
is
thing.
going to have a wonderful career.
Yes.
This would not damage his career.
No.
If it was something with his form or lash a man on his head or But
if it was an Alzari outburst,
Yeah.
You gotta remember we're all human. It's not like Anderson woke up and said I'm gonna tamper with the ball today. We're human, things happen in the field.
It is wrong.
They
it
never
is
should
wrong.
have done it.
And questions are actually rising.
And if you try to defend it, then the thing is going to get out of hand.
I know
because
what you're
people
saying.
will defend their side of it.
People defending it. I had someone message me and told me a win is a win at the end of the day. We don't
Win is a
care.
win.
We don't
win
care
is a
about the
win.
rest and how it happened. We just know that we won. And I was like,
no,
okay.
and here's why. Like, I mean, it's wrong. I don't want to defend it, but this is only going to happen because it's Guyana. Because it's a
No, I
Guyanese
believe
cricket
if
team.
any team did that and it was reported
The
to the match
outburst?
referee,
No.
not the outburst,
That's what
the
I'm talking
sanctions.
about. No, the sanctions, yes, it would have happened like that. But every other island in the Caribbean would not be coming at Trinidad or Barbados or Jamaica for what is going on with Guyana, as compared to what is going on with Guyana. So people are saying that they should have docked points. They should forfeit the championship.
Yeah.
They should take back the
That's
last three
extreme.
trophies because we don't know what happened the last three
And-
times.
Well,
That is
people,
absolutely
you can allow anybody who does not understand cricket to go and make comments on Facebook. There's no law
It's
prohibiting
not,
that.
not only that, even I was watching a video, I can't remember who was doing the interview, and she was interviewing Miles Bascom, the CWI director, and she asked the question, so can we say that the previous wins that Guyana had, would we have to look into that as well? So
I know who that is.
That
that's how
was a
far they are
question.
going now, but
That was a question she wanted to
It
know.
was a stupid question.
Yes, it was
Exactly.
there are no stupid
Exactly.
You and
questions.
I both know who the journalist
Yes,
is.
but there are no
Exactly.
stupid questions. I thought
has her
I
problems
spoke
with
to
that.
someone the other day. Well, not the other day, a long time ago. He was a boxing promoter and he went to do a press conference at DCC. He's a member of DCC, and he told me I asked a stupid question. I said, "You're stupid to ask me. Tell me I'm asking a stupid question because you don't know nothing but cricket." So there's no stupid question. It's for the person not to know when to ask a stupid question. It's no stupid question. If I don't know, the question would sound stupid because everybody else would know.
Yeah.
But not because I don't know it's a stupid question.
I think, Sean, that as journalists, we kind of get caught up sometimes in the opinions of others. And especially when we're chasing a sensational story,
Yeah.
we get caught up. Because the same thing that was asked, that question that was asked, was something that was going around hours prior when the press release dropped
Yeah.
on Saturday morning. And people were saying, oh, so we got to look at the games they play at home because they had all the freedom at home.
Yeah.
So as a journalist, you cannot allow yourself to be, I
Drawn
don't
in.
want to say intimidated, but you cannot allow yourself to be persuaded in your
Yeah.
approach by what you see other people that are not in your shoes commenting. They don't have clarity on the situation the way you would as a journalist. I think that's exactly what happened in that situation. Because to say that, oh, we got to look into every other game, that's crazy.
And
The
what
other
would-
games had umpires.
What
They
did
did
Miles Bascom response to that was?
Michelangelo?
I think his response when he asked that question, he said, no, we don't have to look in
No,
to the
Right.
rest of
Yeah,
the
he did
game.
say that.
So
But-
he gave an answer.
Yeah, but
so
what he
Yeah,
said
should
is that
be
CWI will
satisfied with
study.
that.
But the question shouldn't have been
What-
asked in the first place.
Yeah, but
in
what
my
he
opinion.
said is that CWI will study the ICC and the penalties given
Yeah, I
out to
think
these
they'll
kind
look
of
at
things, and they will look to restructure
Yeah.
their own to basically mimic the
Yeah.
ICC.
But I still think that these things will still happen in the future because,
Yeah.
I mean, not everyone will play the game fairly,
Yeah.
right? So it is a possibility, even though what Cricket West Indies can do is put more systems in place to identify these issues and put systems in place to stop these issues. But we're living in a world where people do things.
And it's easy now to spot because of the advent of technology,
Technology.
and,
Yeah.
and television cameras
It's easy
and,
to
and
spot,
so
but
on.
no evidence was provided.
Right.
No snippet of a live stream was given as a,
But-
this is the time at which
Right.
John Jones stamped
Yes,
the
that
ball.
was done, but it was done privately in the meeting.
Oh,
Okay.
Because how would you know to give the batting team a new ball?
Yeah.
That
They had-
was
they
done
had that
twice.
Oh,
option.
the
Yeah.
umpire, yeah.
Yeah, that
So-
was done twice. So that means the ball was in fact damaged.
Yeah.
The condition was strange.
So people, persons out there would.
Yeah,
they
you wouldn't know.
what
Yeah, you wouldn't
exactly
know
took
what
place.
took place.
But
yeah.
just know that it was.
And it was well sorted out, and
Yeah.
and to me, the matter is finished.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think it's finished.
Not in Trinidad's case.
A statement came out this morning from Cricket West Indies. The headline reads, Cricket West Indies President, which is Dr. Kishore Shalom for context, congratulates Guyana Harpy Eagles. Reaffirms zero tolerance on integrity breaches.
Well, that's okay.
It's
Sean,
He's
the statement
congratulating
was in the
you
press
for
release on
winning.
Saturday.
It could have been separate.
It
Sean.
could have been in the release on Saturday, Sean. It didn't have to be here.
Congratulate
Oh,
the team
congratulations,
and-
yeah.
and-
But I am
Yeah.
sure it's not Dr. Shallow who wrote the release.
But he had
The
to approve it.
PRO
No.
who wrote the
He
release.
approved,
All
but
right.
Timothy's right. He approved it.
Yes.
These things go through channels when a press release is written.
Yeah.
Everybody
So what's
approved it.
wrong with
There are
that?
ways of
I
doing
think
things,
it's
Sean.
backhanded.
There are different ways of doing things. but-
Congratulations, Guyana, y'all cheat.
Yeah.
No,
That's
he
literally
never
what
used
happened
the
here.
word cheat. He said these things should never
Integrity breaches, Sean.
In the
That's-
headline, not the fly line.
Integrity breaches.
It's like a magician. They
Should
call
not
a
be-
magician
That's
an
a nice way of
illusionist.
saying-
it should
Yeah.
not
A
be
garbage man, a
condoned.
sanitation worker. It's just a
So
fancy
you
way
think
to
that
put
they
it.
should continue doing this?
All right. We can go
That's
on
not
and
a
on, guys.
question.
Let's stop it right here. Let's stop it right here. I know we can spend 20 more
Yeah.
minutes on this discussion, but we have to take a quick commercial break. Let's go.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Welcome to Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We offer fine dining, a sports bar, dancing, and special events. Come and enjoy a great Caribbean meal or sit and enjoy the games. Watch for our upcoming special events and live shows. Hibiscus, where you can have a wonderful time with family and friends. We are located at 8344 West Oakland Park Boulevard, Sunrise, Florida. Come out today and enjoy our wonderful atmosphere. Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We are your entertainment center in Sunrise, Florida. TV network.
Welcome back to HowZat, guys. You're tuned into Guyana's weekly cricket TV talk show. We're taking some breeze here at altitude, and we're going to get into a topic that's going to be very popular, I'd say, in the next 3 years. Of course, we're still in 2025, but in 2028 in Los Angeles, in the United States of America, cricket will be introduced to the Olympic Games. Is it the first time?
Second time.
Second time. Because obviously the first time around, the IOC believed that cricket was a bit too lengthy and it was too tedious. So this time around, they took a lot of consideration. This has been under consideration since Tokyo 2020.
Yeah.
This has been in consideration for the IOC. And now we have it. Cricket will be played in the LA 2028 Olympics. 6 teams, T20 format.
6 teams?
Nice. I don't think that 6 teams
It won't
really
do justice, I
reflects.
know. I know what
Exactly.
you're
It
saying.
doesn't do
but
justice to cricket around the world.
Yeah.
But I think ICC
That's a start.
settled.
It's
Yeah.
a start.
I think
Yeah.
they settled for the least they could have gotten because they just want the game to be played in the Olympics.
Yes.
But guys, do you think 6 teams are enough?
No.
No, not initially, but 6 teams is adequate
Yes.
because the games are being played in America. And they've got now, because of the World Cup there, they've got now a fan base
Right.
for the cricket. And this Olympics and everything else, it's all about commercialism.
Yeah.
Who goes to this? Who puts the bums in the seats, and all of that. It's all about commercialism.
Yeah.
Even the Olympics, which used to be an amateur sport.
Yeah. It's about introducing the sport to a new area.
new
And
market.
if you look at when they had the T20 World Cup and it was played overseas in USA, you saw the turnout. So that's good money for them.
Yeah.
But you said 6 teams as well, and I'm here thinking, right?
Massive,
England,
massive.
Australia, South Africa, New Zealand, and I think I'm forgetting
I don't think it will
I'm
be that
forgetting a
simple.
big name. And number
but
6,
it-
right? You
yeah.
have to give the host nation the opportunity to
Exactly.
play. So where does
Exactly.
that leave the other rest?
So I don't think
And
it's
that's
that
why
simple.
they have qualifiers.
Yeah. All right. So let me just give a little context. So the host nation, of course, would be an automatic
USA,
entry.
which
Yeah.
is wild
So-
because
Yeah. So it's a T20 format, like you guys said before. So USA automatically qualifies,
And they have a competent
Good.
T20
So-
team.
They
More-
beat Pakistan.
more than
Yeah.
likely,
And they almost beat West Indies.
more than
almost
likely,
beat India.
Yeah.
Might see some West Indians in the USA team, you never know.
Yeah, they will be.
more than likely though, I think they'll use the ICC rankings to let's say take another the top 2 or 3 in each gender,
Yeah.
right? And then you'd have
A qualifier.
competition for the rest of the world. And with sports like boxing and so on, you have it regionally. You have the Pan American area, Europe, Asia, and they play qualifiers till the best of the best comes out and they qualify for the Olympics.
And Olympics teams now are nations,
Mhm.
not
Yeah.
collaborated
Yeah, no.
nations.
Exactly.
So, Guyana, Trinidad, Barbados, and
Yes.
Jamaica will have to qualify individually.
Similarly to
Similar
what was
to
supposed
the-
to happen for the Commonwealth
Yeah, the
Games.
Commonwealth
Yeah.
Games. I remember Barbados was the
Well,
last team that
They
went to
just
the
got
Commonwealth
declined
Games.
because they had won the previous women's
Yeah.
tournament. So CWI did mention that they were supposed to host a T20 tournament in order to come up with who will be representing the West Indies at these games.
Yes.
That tournament is supposed to happen this year. I haven't heard anything about it, but we do have the breakout T20 league. So I'm studying now. One of the things that I sat down to think about is whether or not this breakout T20 league will be used as a determining factor. Because I want to draw your attention to football in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Football in the Olympics is an under 23 competition. So similar to the breakout league where we have players under 30. So on the 23 competition, when the team qualifies for the Olympics, then they could have, I think it's 2 or 3 senior players that's above the 23 age limit to play with the team. I'm curious to know if this is what West Indies' approach will be. There hasn't been any indication about that as yet, but I'm curious about that.
So in the past, right, they did have cricket at the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, twice.
And West Indies went to the Commonwealth Games in 1998 as a unified territory.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking more than likely that will be the case again.
No, that would
no.
specifically not be the case. This is
Let me
Olympics.
hear. Let me hear you, Sean. Let me hear.
You'll have to qualify as an individual team.
Yes.
As an individual
Yeah.
nation.
Yeah.
Barbados women actually played the last
Yeah,
Commonwealth Games.
Yeah, the last Commonwealth Games.
Right.
But the thing is,
West
right?
Indies, I don't think West Indies ever went as a national team to the
So,
Commonwealth Games.
UK,
They will have a
compete.
qualifier.
They compete as Great Britain
Yeah.
at the Olympics.
Yeah.
So that means they could get people from Wales, from
Scotland,
Ireland, right?
Everywhere.
It's kind of similar to West Indies if you look at it that way.
No, but
No,
you
but-
don't
but
compete
that
as a UK
That is
team.
politics. West Indies doesn't have that
That-
much. I mean, it's possible, but there would need to be a very big discussion
Yeah.
at the CARICOM level
Yeah.
in order to make that decision to say, hey, West Indies will be representing us, West Indies.
There used to be
And
a
then-
West Indies football team, a West Indies cycling team, but now the only team that represents West Indies is cricket.
And then we have rugby on the
Yeah.
off chance.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a big discussion, and then we'll have problems about the composition.
For
of the
now,
team,
we could
because
only
somebody
suppose,
has,
we could only
you know,
surmise what would happen. But
Yeah.
you know, I think it's interesting that cricket is heading to the Olympics or returning to the Olympics, especially in this exciting T20 format.
Yeah.
I mean, T20 is very exciting, but we actually saw the introduction of T10 cricket a few
Yeah.
years ago. Do you guys foresee a T10 format in
I
the
thought it was
future?
going to be T10.
Yes.
It might be
I would think
T10
so,
because
because-
T10 is a shorter
Yeah, I believe
format.
T20 would be too
Yeah,
long.
I believe T10
Yeah.
would be the ideal thing though.
Yeah.
And I also think that if India isn't playing, well, the games that India isn't going to be playing in the Olympics, they're going to take blows. They're going to take a lot of blows. Obviously, fans
So you
travel
don't
with
think
their
India
teams.
would qualify?
No, Sean, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, well, we get the tournament schedule. India plays Guyana in the first game. And then England plays Australia in the second game. What I'm saying is that the game when India
With
is playing,
non-India games we're talking
Exactly.
about. Yeah.
they're going to have a lesser turnout.
Turnout,
We
yeah.
saw what happened in the World Cup
Yeah,
last
yeah,
year.
yeah.
It was
Yes.
practically the same thing. Most Indian nationals in USA showed up for their team, yes. But
Yeah.
the other games, the crowd wasn't so much. So
Sure.
I'm very skeptical that cricket at the Olympics wouldn't be as lucrative as they expect it to be. I mean, people are going to travel. I'm going to travel. I want to see whoever, except if it's Trinidad, probably. I might go support Barbados or something, Guyana, but
Yeah.
don't think about it. But people won't travel that much in droves, actually,
At least
behind
I
their
won't be
well,
traveling.
the only two teams that would guarantee great crowds is India and Pakistan. But then we also have to look at the fact that India and Pakistan might be competing for one spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of
So-
the Asian thing, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Jemima,
it's going to
you
be
think
competitive.
everyone is pushing for equality these days, especially in sports? You foresee the women's play?
No, that's blows. The women's tournament, complete blows.
Mm.
Does USA have a senior women's cricket team?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
Indumati
often do they
Gordial was just in the squad, but she didn't make the team.
I think they had a game
And
the other
she's
day,
the
right?
last person that played Test cricket for West Indies. That was way back in
Yeah.
2006.
So
So there is a women's team. I think
They had a
Lyndon
game the other
Fraser
day.
has something to do with that women's team,
Not
or
as
did.
active,
And they have
but-
an under 19 women's team.
I know they're on the
Yes,
19
yes,
team
yes.
is actually very vibrant.
Yeah.
They play a lot of cricket, they have a lot of tours, but not so much the senior team. The women's tournament is going to take some magical marketing.
Let's not write it
It's-
off. Let's not write it off. Let's not say, oh, it's not possible. But we're looking at, again, commercialization.
Yeah, and
No,
Now
I-
it'll be
no,
so
but
for
I
real.
think they're
Put
going.
together the Olympics and America.
Yes.
It's going to be
Yeah,
really
I
marketed.
think they're going to market the women cricket very
Yeah,
well.
very
If you
well.
remember the video from the T20 World Cup when the lady was teaching Dale Steyn to bowl, right? So they're going to market.
Yeah.
Dale Steyn didn't
I wouldn't
introduce
write it
himself, so but they marketed it in such a way that you saw it all over social
Do you know
media.
we're going to be the ambassadors for that marketing campaign?
Who?
Do you know we're going to be the
Who?
ambassadors?
Tell
for
me,
that
tell me,
marketing?
tell me.
Male cricketers. I'm not saying that the stands are going to be completely empty.
Yeah.
The stands are going to have people, but I don't think it will meet the expectations that they probably have for the games.
Sure.
And I hope that doesn't affect us having cricket in the Olympics in 2032. I truly hope it doesn't.
And it's probably because of the location they decided to have cricket in there, because America is now getting to learn about cricket. This is where we have to take a break. We're filming live from Guyana.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
The future of Guyana cricket is here. Are you ready to catch every thrilling moment? Never miss a game, news, information, interviews, and more. Guyana cricket will now be live and exclusive on the Guyana TV network. Experience the heart-pounding excitement from anywhere in the world. Catch every second, every ball, every wicket that drops on GCB TV, the channel on the Guyana TV network app. Watching Guyana cricket has never been this exciting. The Guyana Cricket Board has its own Cricket TV channel where you can watch all games live, get all your Guyana cricket news and updates, watch replays of games, access exclusive interviews and in-depth information, stay connected, stay informed, never miss a game. Watch it all free on the Guyana TV network app. The future of Guyana cricket is here, live and exclusive on the Guyana Cricket Board's own TV channel, GCB TV. Catch all the games worldwide on GCB TV on the Guyana TV network app. Don't miss out. Download the app now and be part of the action.
Welcome back, guys. Of course, you're tuned into HowZat, and it's time for some vibrant discussions again because we're going to be picking our player of the week. Of course, we'll go around the table. Everybody gives 3 suggestions for who they thought were outstanding this week, and then we'll come to a consensus with whichever player has the most votes. Let me start right off the bat because these guys don't copy me and I can get vexed. So let me just give my players one time. Local cricket, I'll have to go with Riyad Latif. Picked up a 5 for when the GCA picks up that championship in the DCB Under-19 tournament. So I'll go with Latif as my local player of the week. Let's see. Regional. Obviously it has to be somebody from the Guyana Harpy Eagles. You know who I was considering, guys? I was considering Joshua De Silva for that 7-7 against the Guyana Harpy Eagles, or maybe Jason Mohammed for that century against the Harpy Eagles.
Yeah.
But no, for real, it has to be Tevin Imlach, championship winning captain for the 2nd time, and the 2nd time he's leading this team in this competition. I always remember before the 2024 season started, people were, we don't have Leon Johnson anymore. Guyana is dead in the regional 4-day tournament. How we can do this young captain, he got no experience, but here he is, 2 championships later, back-to-back wins. So I have to give it to Tevin Imlach. I'm going to forego the international pick. But if I have to pick somebody, Virat Kohli just made 6 or something on Sunday. A match-winning knock. Hello. A match-winning knock for RCB. So I don't know. Maybe if I had to pick somebody international, it would be that. But I'm not going to pick anybody.
All right, since I'm right next to Jemima, let me go with my 3 players. I will have to agree with Tevin Imlach, not only because he captained the team, he scored runs, he scored 538 runs actually, at an average of 68, but he also took 20 dismissals as a keeper, and that's important. Imlach bats in the top 5, he's a captain and he's a wicket keeper. That's a lot. It calls for a lot of fitness and
A lot of focus.
right, and he actually did it throughout the season. So he's actually my regional
Missed
player
just
of
one
the
match.
week. Right,
When he was in Pakistan.
right.
The
So
opening match.
so I would say Imlach is I have to go with another regional player because last week we were all saying that Jason Mohammed made out all his runs, that's it for him, blah blah blah. The man score a century
I
again.
should have bet you, Alan.
Again, the man score a century. And we have to give Jack his jacket. That's runs.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we could
give
get
Jason
Jackie
his
jacket,
jacket.
not just a place in the West Indies test.
Okay, alright. Yeah. I don't see him.
He could get the jacket.
I don't see him actually getting a recall today.
I see it.
You see it?
I seen it too.
I see it.
You know, cricket West Indies.
6-7 9 runs is a lot of runs, you know.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
4 centuries is a record.
Exactly.
Well,
A double century included, right?
Somebody say West Indies.
And 2 centuries in the same match.
Yeah, Sammy don't got a man on the phone.
But I doubt if he will be in a West Indies team. His days are gone.
Yeah.
He's like Devon Smith.
Regional
And he's 38. He's going to be 39 soon.
tension of these days.
Yeah.
My local player of the week would be Shamar Apple. He actually scored a half century in the under 21 tournament.
Important.
Right? He's still
15
under
years
15,
old.
right?
On 17.
Under 17. So he actually scores runs consistently in different formats, different tournaments. And that is something I want to see from a Borbishan by the name of Adrian Hetmeyer.
Yeah.
He dominates,
Interesting. Should
right?
you
No.
bring this up?
He actually dominates. Not because I'm a Borbishan, I would hide these things. He scores most of his runs, if not all, in rows or kanji against mediocre bowling. He's yet to come to Georgetown and say, okay, let me score a century, blam blam. Score a half century or a 70 or 80 match winning up for Guyana at the regional level. I think he should
fully
take a
agree with you.
page out of Apple's book.
Yeah.
I
Right.
agree with Brandon because especially in that under 17 inter-county tournament that we saw a few weeks ago,
He was underwhelmed.
Right.
He was
by his
underwhelming.
performance.
And even when they played the under 15 in Antigua last year,
Yeah.
Apple outperformed him.
Yes.
And I was talking, when I was doing the commentary with the regional games, I was always talking about Adrian Hetmeyer. And I
Yeah.
was telling the people that is one to look out for.
Sean, you blights the boy. Turn like
So I,
a
I,
motion.
I
course.
really like
You're the
him.
reason.
Yes, I
Okay.
really liked him. I really
Maybe-
like him.
Maybe some intervention from
Yeah.
Uncle Shim. Well,
Who?
And he coached.
alright,
Father.
the next person, the next
Father.
person, the next person.
Father.
Let's
See
start
how
with
he
him.
is. Yeah.
All right. So, Timothy, you want to? I think you should go for.
Yes,
Go,
you
go.
go, Timothy.
Let me go because I have
I gotta hear this. Let me go.
3 different people.
Either.
But
Obviously, Timothy.
I like to be the devil's advocate if you don't know by now. I'm going to say Thaddeus Lovell for his 176. It's nice seeing when bowlers could make runs. It's like when you're playing one of those cricket games and you come into bat at number 9, you score a century and win the game. It reminded me of that moment. So him for his 176.
On the bottom, I was grown.
Of course, runs is runs at the end of the game.
Oh my god.
I'm going to say Sachin Balgobin, who made 48 because he followed up that 214 the other day with a 48. So it shows that, listen, this is not just a one-time thing only and then I fail. I back it up with a
Editors
decent.
know that 213 was also at the little girl.
Don't be jealous of Sachin. You had your moment in the sun many years ago. So give Sachin his credit right now. And my final player, I'm going to agree with Brandon and say Jason Mohammed because I feel that he might get a call in that 15-man squad because 600 and something runs is not jokey runs. 679 to be exact.
679.
Yeah.
It's not jokey runs. It's worth some form of recognition. So that's it for me.
All right. Well, let me go now. Right. So, I have to agree with you on Thaddeus Lovell.
Thank you.
It's very rare to see a fast bowler.
Well, Thaddeus Lovell is an all-rounder.
Yeah,
If you
but-
see his
Yeah,
scores for
I know he's
GCC
an
at
all-rounder.
Forest Division,
He
he
has
got
a-
half
Let me
centuries.
see. For over the last 2 months, he has made a couple of 50s, I think a 40 here and there, and he
Yeah.
hits the ball.
Yeah.
So, I'll give Thaddeus, Thaddy, if you're watching this, big up yourself. Big up yourself. You wrapped our club,
Yeah.
you went over there, you destroyed it. So, Thaddeus Lovell is my pick, my first pick. And then I would have to go with Nicholas Puran
Of
for
course.
his consistent run in the IPL.
Bad man, man.
Except
Yeah,
for
Bad
Monday.
man.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's the leading run scorer as of, well, up to when
Up to
we
today,
recorded,
yeah.
up to today.
Yes.
And Josiah Lim, I'll go with Josiah Lim. He played for Eastbound Eagles. He made a quick 500 at that. And, they end up beating Everest. So those are my three.
Well, I would go with Imlak, 538 runs, 3 centuries, 150, only below in centuries to Jason Mohammed, who scored a record 4. And his leadership his 20 dismissals, and his back-to-back wins. He's performing with the gloves, with the bat, and as the leader.
Yeah.
So I'll definitely go with him. I'll go with the 15-year-old Shamar Apple because he's now elevated himself to scoring in big man cricket.
Yes,
Yeah.
under 21, yeah.
So the under 21 cricket, he also got a 50. And for international now,
You
Why
gotta
you
make it
scratching
I got
your head,
a
man?
but I'll go with Nicholas Puran.
Hey!
Because he's, despite his recent failure, during the past week, he scored
About
many runs.
Yeah, two
Yeah.
more 50s, a 40.
And he's the only batter that has reached 350. I think he's got 357 or
Yeah.
something.
31 sixes, guys.
Yeah.
So that's a lot.
That's more than CSK.
Yeah. So my three are Nicholas Puran,
Shamar.
Shamar Apple,
And Tevin
and
Imlak.
Tevin Imak.
All right, well, guys,
So I got two with Jemima.
I want you to know that we came this close to Jason Mohammed being our player.
Almost.
That would have been a
This
sad
close.
situation,
But
right?
Sean swooped in and
Saved
did
it.
us a good deed. Saved the day. So it's going to be Tevin Imlak,
Of course.
Guyana Harper Eagles captain, championship winning captain, back to back. Very good stuff from Imlak
Yeah.
this season. And I
Yeah.
want to see him translate his form, his
The
leadership
international stage.
to the international stage when West Indies plays Australia a few months from now. We're going to take a break right now, guys, and then when we get back, it's time for the money segment.
Ching, ching, ching.
Welcome to Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We offer fine dining, a sports bar, dancing, and special events. Come and enjoy a great Caribbean meal or sit and enjoy the games. Watch for our upcoming special events and live shows. Hibiscus, where you can have a wonderful time with family and friends. We are located at 8344 West Oakland Park Boulevard, Sunrise, Florida. Come out today and enjoy our wonderful atmosphere. Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We are your entertainment center in Sunrise, Florida.
Guyana TV Network.
Welcome back, guys. You're tuned into HowZat, your weekly cricket TV talk show. And of course, this segment is where we give out $100. And we have this week's winner on set with us. We're going to hand over his prize. Sean, would you do the honors?
Yeah, Christoph Damon. This is for you. Congratulations. You're a smart guy.
All right, guys. Thank you for participating, Christoph. Of course, you'll chip in on the discussion. I know you're a big cricket fan as well. And, before we get to that part of it, remember we are here to answer your questions that you would have sent in over the last week. And Brandon, let's just review the last quiz questions. I think it was three tricky questions.
So the first question: two Australians are the only players who have appeared in
Riled
four
up.
World Cup finals: 1996, 1999, 2003, and 2007. Order.
Yeah,
What
let
is
me
Glenn
tell you something
McGrath?
about
And
that.
who's the
My
order?
good friends that really
So
know
that
me,
was
when I share
kinda
that clip
well,
with Sean
simple.
getting
Well, I
red
had
and
two
red,
persons
Timo, you're
because
wicked.
my
You
research
know
showed
you
that
like
two
to
persons
add
actually did
fire to
the World Cup
situation
for 4
when
years,
you're
but just
riling up,
not
Sean.
those
That's
4
why
years.
I'm here
So the
to
first one I had was Adam Gale Chris,
Yeah.
and then I did some more research and saw that was actually Ricky Poynton for that question.
Right. And the second one probably gave you some more stress because they had I think it was 3 possible answers. So let me call the question out. Who won a winner's medal in the 2003 World Cup final without batting or bowling in the final match?
Yeah, that one also was tricky. I think I had 2 persons. One of them was sent home early because of injury, and then the other person was Nathan Bracken. So I just went with him because he actually stayed at the end of the tournament, and I thought that he would have gotten the medal instead of the person that went home from injury.
Right. And the third one, probably the easiest of the lot because
Definitely.
It's a bit more Guyanese related as well. In the Hindi film 83, Tej Narayan Chandrapal, who's the son of Shiv Narayan Chandrapal, he played the role of which left-handed batsman from the West Indies?
But yeah, that one was the easiest one out. I didn't have to do research for that because there was a lot of publicity when that movie came out, so I knew it was Larry Gomes immediately. So that one was the easiest one.
And I think when that movie came out in the year, I remember clearly they had a trial match at Albion. And everybody was calling Tej Larry. Larry.
Yeah. He put on his big mustache and stuff like that.
You want to know something? If you
Make a meme out of the expression with Sean do now and
No,
post
because
it on
Hillary,
When they tell you
It's
Jason
actually named Hillary.
Hillary.
I guess that's why they didn't want to call him Hillary because, that's more like a girl name. So they
have
stuck to Larry.
All right, guys. So let me just run through. I think we have 2 questions this week, but they're 2 very interesting questions, and let me get straight to it so that we can have a nice panel discussion. And the first question is from Rafi Kisu. He says Saeem Ayub is back in Warriors colors. Y'all think he can pick up right where he left off in 2023? What y'all think his addition means for the Warriors?
I think he can pick off where he left because I think he returned from injury to the PSL and he scored a half century on return. So he's that good. It's definitely gonna do well for the Warriors.
Sean, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think he can come back because of age or to understand.
Timothy, and we're a Warriors fan.
I'm not a Warriors fan.
Choose your words wisely.
I'm willing to accept the point. And I say what's on my heart. Too bad for
Oh
Warriors
Lord, here we
But
go.
nevertheless, I'm going to have to agree with Brandon. He came back from injury and he played, I think it's his first game in PSL, and he scored runs. But more importantly, if there's one thing I would like to see is that they're using him to bowl in the PSL, and I've seen him bowl in the nets, and I like his action. And I'm hoping that the Warriors probably making that thought change or something, but give him a chance to bowl at least 3 overs. You never know if he's going to take wickets. So,
Like Joe Root. All right, so I think he's very talented. Obviously, I'm echoing all of you guys. There's no doubt about his talent, and between 2023 to now, he has actually progressed. He's developed more because he plays now a regular for Pakistan across all formats, and I definitely think he can come back and replicate or even better that form that he had from 2023.
One thing he can do for the Warriors also is that we saw last year they had a lot of trouble finding that opening partnership because of his absence in the CPL and in the Global Super League. So at least he has that one slot at the top of the order covered. So there's still a little bit of figuring out to do, but I find that probably with Ayub there it's going to be much easier to lock in an opening partnership. Christoph?
Yeah, I think he's gonna do well because he's talented. I know. I saw the announcement was just Global Super League. I'm hoping he's back for CPL as well because he's a very important player in 2023, and I think he should be back to CPL. And I really hope that he comes back and Pakistan don't take him away again. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, that is true. So let's move on to the second question, and this is from Christopher James. Which young player from Guyana besides Kevlon Anderson do you think will be the next pick for West Indies squad? Who wants to take first? John?
I was about to say Martinandu, but then...
No. No.
I'm thinking Ronaldo.
Ali Mohammed.
All right,
Yeah.
so rate my
because he's an all-rounder. He's now starting to perform. He got like 3 centuries. He got like 3 5-wicket hauls. He's somebody that can probably come in around 8 and bowl well. And I think he's probably can make it into the T20 team or probably a one-day team sometime. It's a little far off, but I think he can make it.
Well, I think he could play T20 and he could play one day. he has to do a lot more work if he wants to play test cricket.
Yeah.
And test cricket can be really back on immediate effect. But he's a good all-rounder in the mode of shepherd. So he's good enough to play in the T20 and in the ODIs. But I don't think it will be in this next series.
No. Let's say 2 years from now.
What do you guys think? Let me hear from the people in black.
I can't come up with a name, to be honest with you. Outside of Kevlon, I can't.
And this is specifically for test cricket. Yeah, this is
This specific
no, the West
no,
Indies
any
squad.
West Indies, yeah.
So they didn't specify a form. But well, you know, my vote is for Kevlon to make this Australia series, but let's leave that alone.
Yeah, say outside of Anderson, I don't see anyone that can actually make. Yeah.
But my best bet would be on Ronaldo Ali Mohammed. Once he develops his game a little more, work on his craft, be a bit more
Fitness is important.
Yeah, be a bit more
Fitness is
consistent with the bat. He has the potential to go big, and I think he could work a bit more.
Yeah.
Me, I like the way that he bowls more than the way that he bats, because you say, oh yes, great power. Anybody could get power, but I like the fact that he swings the ball. And for me, I love swing bowling. And when Kemar Roach retire, when all these other names decide, you need somebody that's going to swing the ball and trouble the batsman. If all the bowling is deliveries that are not moving, I believe in you must get the ball to move. Look at Stark, look at Cummins. These guys get James Anderson, Stewart, bro. You just call the names up, they get the ball to move. Hazelwood, they get the ball to move. And I think that would be something that Cricket West Indies needs. His pace, he would get the ball to move. I remember Praveen Kumar shot. Praveen Kumar, not the fastest, but excellent swing. So yeah, I
But that young Guyanese bowler. We have a young Guyanese bowler that was picked. Thorn, yeah.
I think Thorn will have to come through if the academy goes to play right now, Thorn will be the academy.
Yes, he will be there.
And then West Indies A and such and such. I think Thorn and probably Ashley Ned are in the same boat right now, where they're good, they have potential, but they would have to come through these other teams before they can get to a senior team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Isaiah Thorne has had his injury problems. No fault of his, of course, but it would be very interesting to see him play a complete 4-day season and see what he can do with the ball.
I mean, he's young, time is on his side, but the West Indies Cricket Board already signaled their intention on, he's one for the future because I think he toured England once.
Yes, he went with the West
Indies.
Indies.
So he's definitely one for the future. Other than Kevlin Anderson, probably in a year or two, Thorne will be in a West Indies team.
And before, like a year or two before, they were looking at Nine Smith.
Right.
But he's now gone backwards, injury prone. That's his main problem. In addition to his low ball problem.
Yeah.
But he's still got the pace, but he's got to learn to have the control along with the tools.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I agree. So, now that we're done with those discussions, let's head into the money segment. So, we got 3 questions here. Remember, guys, for you to qualify to win this money, you have to answer all 3 questions correctly and be the first one to send them in. So, first come, first serve, right? Let's head straight into the questions. And the first one, they were affectionately known as the 3 W's of the West Indies cricket team: Frank Worrell, Everton Weeks, and who is the third one? Right? So that's the first. That's easy.
That easy. I almost answered it just now. I had to stop myself.
All right. So the second question: which bowler was the first to capture 500 Test wickets? So that's
easy.
That's easy
a
again.
very easy one. So we're giving away money.
Frankly,
I mean, this is a bit too easy, producer. But all right, let's go. What is the third question? When did India win the ICC Women's T20 World Cup title? So this is a bit more recently.
Oh, recently?
That's hard.
Yes. More easy.
This is easier, but this is a bit more recently. So there you have it. The 3 questions. Remember, you have to text your answers to 6-15-35 and do so correctly, and you can be here with us next week discussing all manners of cricket. So, thank you very much, and we'll see you right after the ad break.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.
Welcome to Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We offer fine dining, a sports bar, dancing, and special events. Come and enjoy a great Caribbean meal or sit and enjoy the games. Watch for our upcoming special events and live shows. Hibiscus, where you can have a wonderful time with family and friends. We are located at 8344 West Oakland Park Boulevard, Sunrise, Florida. Come out today and enjoy our wonderful atmosphere. Hibiscus Restaurant, Sports Bar, and Nightclub. We are your entertainment center in Sunrise, Florida.
Welcome back, guys. HowZat, and we're at the end of the road for this episode of HowZat. A lot of productive discussions that I most enjoyed when we delved into the Guyana Harpy Eagles and their indiscretions this past weekend. I hate to see that it's tainting a championship win, and such a big feat. 8 championships in 10 years is an amazing, amazing thing. And I hate the way that, this is tainting the Guyana Harpy Eagles as well. But, you can't control everything. So, I don't know, where do we go from here with this kind of stain on the Guyana Harpy Eagles?
Well, it's going to pass.
Yeah, there's 2 shots.
You watch Lion King, Hakuna Matata.
Okay.
Put your past behind you. Do like Simba. The past is the past, and just look forward. What happened, and we just move forward. Because if we dwell on the past too much, it's going to hold you back. And if people want to be salty, let them be salty. That's their problem, not Guyana's problem. We just move forward.
Yeah, this should not repeat itself though, because if it does, it will definitely be something that would forever be remembered.
Forever be in the shadow of
Right.
those incidents.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Guyana. I wouldn't condone this again.
You sound like Kishore Shah.
Literally, that was the headline, Sean.
Reaffirm his
Oh my
stance.
goodness.
Bottom.
Run on a roll.
Alright, guys, so just a little reminder about this money thing.
Yes.
Remember to send your answers to 646-1535, and you can be a winner, and you will be here at our next show discussing
Remember,
matters
guys, none of your family, your friends, your colleagues, your mother, your father, none of our crew, not one of you. We gotta investigate if it's your family. Nobody. Come on, we gotta get the fans involved. We want to get the fans involved, and of course, as we're reminding you to answer these questions, send us your questions. Let's answer them.
Indeed.
But this week's questions are actually easy. I mean,
Yeah, it wasn't much of it.
Yeah.
what I would advise you to do is send some inflammatory questions so that we can get my friend Sean here.
Right,
Why
I
do you
love to
guys
see
want
Sean
to
in
rile
action.
up Sean?
Oh, yes.
No, I love to see him in action when he's right up. When you get ready and start telling Timothy about this and that.
Yeah,
I
and
love
let
that.
me tell you something about that. My good friends that really know me, when I shared the clip with Sean getting red and riled up, they said, Timo, you're wicked. You know you like to add fire to situations and you're riling up Sean. I said, but that's why I'm here to rile up
But
Sean.
Timothy, you take the kind of while. We're not going to discuss it though.
Yeah.
Guys, this was another episode of HowZat. Of course, you can join us again next Wednesday at 8 p.m. for what more we have in store. Of course, we have a lot coming up. We have the IPL being played. We have the regional on the 15th
And
tournament.
locally,
in
we
full
got
swing.
loads of cricket.
We have West Indies women grasping at straws, trying to make it to the Women's World Cup. So there's so much more to look forward to over the next week.
Yeah.
So many things to look at. Hopefully, as Jemima said, the West Indies women will get to the World Cup. Might be by a better run rate. We never know. They've got Thailand to play and Bangladesh, so you never know. So this is where we go. On behalf of everybody here, we're gonna say that we're
See you until next week. Right?
Put the man in the
You are very wrong for that, sir. Yeah, wicked.
Power through anything with Pulse Energy Drink. Choose from mango, sugar-free, and original. Get charged with Pulse.